Oh my gosh, I can't wait to be best friends forever.
Hey, let's talk.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Collective Sound, and I have such a fun guest with me today. Roxy, welcome to Collective Sound.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited about being here.
You're welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. What an honor.
Oh my gosh.
Um, I feel like this is how most of my episodes start. It's like, so I met this person at a show, and it's usually a Paramore show.
I mean, that's literally how we met, so it's not live.
Right, right. Which, okay, so I want to make sure I'm right. We met at the end show, right?
Yes, we
Or
did.
did we
Yeah.
meet at Art and
It,
Friends?
it was at the end. We
Okay.
saw each other at Art and Friends, but we were at the end together sweating.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So for those of you who don't remember, or if you listen to the podcast regularly, whoever you are, that's okay. Paramore played a show, what, 2017?
Yes.
2018?
Yes.
Somewhere around there.
It was before Tour 5, I think, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was a radio thing.
Okay, cool.
2018, I think. I think it was 18.
Yes. So Paramore played this little show at this little venue called The End in Nashville. It's like maybe 100 cap. I don't even know. Super grungy, like surprised it's still standing. But that's where they played one of their first shows. Anyway, so Paramore played this like surprise show radio thing there. And that's where Roxy and I met.
We did.
Which was such a like beautiful place to meet people because like what a crazy experience.
I mean, there was one moment during Misery Business when Haley, we know the moment she got off in the crowd, and there was a point that I thought she was going to kiss my mouth. So
you said, honestly, I'll take it.
Honestly, I was like, you know what? If it's Haley Williams, then it's fine.
Then it's fine.
Yeah, I'm good with it. So there's a whole video. People were like, did she kiss you? And I was like, she didn't, but I think that would have been okay.
Like I said, maybe I'll run with it. Like, yeah, maybe I'll just pretend like she did.
Yes.
That is so funny. So yeah, we met at that show, and we're both friends with Carly, and then we've bebopped around since. We like kind of work adjacent to each other now, which is funny.
In a whole different world.
Yeah, which is just like so strange. Like what a small world.
It's so weird.
But we met because of Paramore, which like how cute. How long have you been a Paramore fan?
Dude, I think I've been a fan since 2000 and like it has to be 2008 because Riot had already been out.
Okay.
Like because I remember I was on MySpace and everyone's song on their MySpace page was Crush Crush Crush, and I'm like, what is this dang song?
To this day, that song is so good.
Literally, and I heard it. I'm like, okay, I like this. I like this a lot. And then I think I had a PlayStation, and there was a game on it. Mm-hmm. It was like a theme park game, and there was a Paramore song on it.
Really?
It was like Pressure or something.
Okay.
And I was like, this band is amazing. So they came into my life when like the Jonas Brothers came into my life, and they both hold like very special places in my heart. But I think since like 2007, 2008, I remember counting down for Brand New Eyes.
Oh
so that's how I like time things.
That is so sweet. I was so late to the Paramore game. I sadly admit it, but I'm here. Would you say, I always ask this question. Oh my gosh, I didn't even make you do the first thing. Oh, we have to rewind before we get into this.
Nope.
I make everyone introduce themselves like they're a freshman in college.
Oh, you do?
I do. Okay, so you'll say your name, age, hometown, and a fun fact about you.
So my name is Roxy Moure. I am 27, so I'm a little older. I was born in Cuba.
Cool. I didn't know that.
I grew up in Miami, and now I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am a photographer.
Heck yeah, you are. Yeah. Do you have a fun fact?
Fun fact. Well, usually my fun fact is I've been on stage with Paramore before.
Right.
So that's
right.
That can't work here. I became a really good bartender during COVID.
Oh my gosh, yes, yeah. I love it. What was like
drinks?
What was the best drink you learned how to make?
So a coconut rum old fashioned, and I make my own coconut rum. So I literally let it sit in like coconut oil for like a day, and then I like make it. But I mean, I don't distill it or anything, but I do that whole process.
Sister.
It tastes like coconut.
So, next time you're in Nashville or when I'm in Atlanta, I am.
Girl, I got you.
You're
It's
incredible.
like a good summer staple for sure.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Pop off. Anyway, sorry I just like interrupted our beautiful conversation.
No,
So
it's fine.
anyway, your gateway drug to being a fan, being music is that Paramore.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, 100%.
Yeah.
It was MySpace that really turned you on.
MySpace and Crush Crush Crush. Thank you so much. Because before that, my profile song on MySpace was probably like Casting Crowns.
Yeah.
You know?
And
So,
you know, that's okay. The
just
casting crowns to Paramore pipeline, honestly, is probably more common than you'd think.
honestly, they're probably really close together.
Oh my gosh. When was the first time you saw Paramore live?
Oh gosh, Honda Civic Tour 2010. I
Okay,
think
cute.
Tegan
Oh
and
my-
Sarah,
Oh.
me and my friend from high school got tickets, and I was like, "It's your birthday," because our birthdays were like close to each other. So I was
Mhm.
like, "We're gonna go for our birthdays," and it
Oh.
changed my entire life. I remember taking photos with my little point and shoot and being like, "I want to do this."
And look at you now.
Look at me now.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get into that. But I
Oh,
first I
wow.
need to know more about your young life. Okay, so you
Yeah,
find Paramore, you become a fangirl. Are you like in like fandom world at that point?
Oh yeah. So I never was like they had like a whole fan club thing. My parents never let me join it because like you know
Classic.
they're probably trying to protect me, honestly.
Yes.
They're like, yeah, we don't have money. I'm like, I know you guys have money. Like,
I said
so,
whatever.
you just don't want to pay for this. So I was never in that, but I remember just like MySpace and Twitter was like it started becoming a huge thing, and I was totally in that whole Paramore world. Twitter, just tweeting Haley and trying to get her to tweet me back on my little razor thing.
Yeah.
And me getting her like her tweets to my phone like while I was in
That's
school.
what Carly said too. That's so funny.
Yes.
That's so funny.
I never
Oh my
got a
gosh.
tweet from her, but I always would like, oh my gosh, Haley tweeted.
It's-
Like, what did
it's-
she say? It was so dumb.
Gosh, what a queen.
She's the best.
What a queen.
What?
Okay, so you find Paramore on MySpace, you get involved, you see them
Mhm.
2010. How many times have you seen them since?
Okay, I lost count, but I think it's 27.
Wow.
27 times. So they never came to Miami really. They would always go to Orlando.
Okay,
And that was 4 hours from where I lived, and I didn't have a car. So
valid.
I never like got to go see them. So, and when they did, was it self-titled tour, they started coming to Miami, and I saw them like a couple times on that tour. And then I was in college at that point, so I was just driving to like
you
West
just-
Palm Beach and
you
Orlando
said, "I'm
and all these
free."
places. Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna go to all these shows. So, and then I've been on Parahoy, and that is like 3 shows. So I count each of those as a show.
As you should. As you should.
Honestly. And then moving to Atlanta, Nashville is so close. So I go to the Atlanta shows, and now I go to the Nashville shows. So I just go to like I've seen them way too many times, but there's really no such thing as
not too many times at all.
You know,
I love it.
I won a radio contest in college, and I saw them in Vegas, like at the and it was like I got flown out there, which sucks.
Okay, we need to unpack that. What?
It was like a radio thing, and I don't remember what we had to do, but I remember sitting in a college class, getting a phone call, and it's like the iHeartRadio lady's like, "Hey, you just won tickets to go like to iHeartRadio," ha ha. And I was like, "Oh, cool!" So like we booked flights, and me and my friend went and saw them, and during the iHeartRadio thing, it was like, hey, tweet this to get a meet and greet with an artist. And we were like, oh my God, we can like meet Paramore.
Heck yeah.
And we ended up meeting Ariana Grande, which is really cool. Great. But we were like,
so random.
Right. But in that moment, we were like, can we switch and meet Paramore?
And were they like, no?
Yeah. Basically, they're like, no shot. Like, no, absolutely.
That is
not.
So funny. I can't believe they flew you out to Vegas to see them.
I've been as far as Vegas to see Paramore. There was like 3 songs, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it was like, but I saw Lorde there. I saw Coldplay. It was great. It was amazing.
What a plus, though, to see
played
everyone
there. It was awesome. But
Usher?
I know.
Wow. Okay. So you've been flown out to see Paramore. We need to talk when you've been on stage with Paramore. I need to hear it.
Oh, dude. It honestly, I blacked out. I don't think I remember most of it.
Set the scene for us. So you're in, what city are you in?
We're in Clearwater, Florida. It's very popular.
Okay.
No, it's not.
I was gonna say never heard of it.
Probably like a retirement city.
Okay.
So it was like the Writing the Future tour is the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we did this whole like Twitter project where we had like lyrics about Future. I don't know if y'all have heard about it. So we did that. We had signs, but I made a sign, and it was That's So Raven. and it was Raven Simone in a mariachi outfit. Because Misery Business has a mariachi intro.
Yeah, exactly.
So the sign said, "My future is on stage," because Raven is a psychic. So I really try to do the whole thing. So that morning I tweeted Haley and she liked the tweet, and I was like, oh, I'm in.
This is good.
Like, this is going to happen. So I was like, okay, this is gonna happen. And then Adam found me before the show, their manager.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Are you one of the people doing the signs?" Because it was the second show of the tour.
Cool.
And he was just kind of like having a question about it. And I was like, "Oh yeah, like it's me and a couple other people from different cities." So I was on their Instagram, like explaining. It's like queen. It's probably deep if you try to find it, honestly.
I literally will. What year is this?
2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm already on it.
I will link you to it.
I'm not doing it right now, but I am writing a note.
I'll link you to it. So he found me. He's like, "Can you talk about this?" And I was like, "Great." And I was like, "Also, please tell Haley, like, I want to get on stage." And he kind of like winked at me and I'm like, "Okay, this is going to happen." And during the show, she was basically like, "Hey, like, I just want to bring someone up. I've seen about I've seen in the interwebs. I'm going to use my psychic internet powers." And
you knew.
My friend was like, "It's you." And he like chucks me on the stage.
Were you close to the front?
I was like on the fourth row or something.
Okay, cool.
Fourth row.
Yeah.
He's like, "It's you." And she's like, "Oh yeah, you." Whatever. And then she tells me, "Just stay right here." And I do not stay right there. I go toward Jeremy and I start like dancing. I'm like, this is not me. I'm an introvert. And then I go to Taylor and I start playing his guitar.
What? This is so wild.
He like gives me his guitar pick and I just start like strumming.
As you should.
And then Haley's like trying to find me and she's like,
"Where is this girl?
Where did she go?" And I was like, "I'm right here." So she gives me a mic and we just like popped off. And I got like stuck on the mic because it had like a little cord.
Uh-huh.
So I got stuck and I look at her and like my face is just like I'm gonna trip. And she like we like switch in between and I get her mic and I'm probably yelling out of tune in her ears and it's fine. And then we just did it. I got on the box and the box.
Oh yeah, you have to.
I was so scared because it says "do not tip" and I'm like, "We're gonna tip it." It's going to happen.
Oh my gosh.
And then it just happened. I took a selfie with her at that point.
You have to send all of this to me. I need to see it all.
We took a selfie and I was just shaking and I was wearing a Mickey Mouse button down. It was not like, I don't know that girl. That was
she's a stranger.
I've only worn it that one time and I still have the shirt. So
that should be in a museum.
It honestly, maybe one day, if I ever get famous, I'm gonna do.
It will be. You said untouched since worn on stage.
I don't think I even washed it. It's literally sitting in my closet. I moved from Miami. And I'm like, this shirt's going with me.
You said this. I haven't worn it since, but this is coming with you. That is insane. Like, how did that feel afterwards? Like, then what do you do for the rest of the show?
It literally felt euphoric. My phone was blowing up. Twitter was going off. And it was like, I don't have notifications on anymore for Twitter or Instagram just because it's helpful.
Yeah.
But it was like, at that point I did. And it was just like a ton of people like Roxy. And I was like, this is wild. Cause it's like people I don't know, but it's like, it's like friends you have,
exactly.
So it's just kind of like all these people were rooting for me. And it like,
wow.
So it was really awesome, honestly.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
Would you say that's your like craziest fan moment?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Nothing's lived up to that.
No, I think that's when I peaked, is what I say, of 6 years ago.
You said that was the peak of my life and we're just, cruising.
Only downhill from here at this point.
You know what? That's okay. Yeah. I think I peaked in my like peak fangirl days too. So
just being a fangirl is just so fun.
I just accept it now. I know.
Same. I was like, I will always own it. Like, too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I was on stage once. I'm like, I pull it up and I like show people and they're like, what?
Literally, I'm like here, like wearing merch. I'm literally wearing my like Haley Williams sweatshirt.
I want to get that one, but you know, I can't wear it around a lot of people.
No, I can't either.
I do. Yeah. So
I did wear it on work calls today, but I wore it like kind of like this. Okay, so you're living the fangirl life. Mm-hmm. You're doing your thing. Did Paramore then like carry over to other bands as well, or were you just like a Paramore girl?
Honestly, it was mainly Paramore, but I love the Jonas Brothers. I was a huge Taylor Swift fan.
Oh.
So
My gosh,
I
Taylor.
feel like right now I still love Taylor Swift a lot, but
Mhm.
Paramore is like the one consistent thing. I don't think
Constant.
anything has ever topped it.
No,
It's always been Paramore for
no.
me, at
Because
least.
how could it not?
I
It's
mean,
so it's just like so easy to be a Paramore fan.
oh, they're just so good and they're just genuine people and it's wholesome, you
And
know?
they're so
It's
exactly. They're
like a
so
wholesome part.
sweet. There's not like well,
Well,
there's
there's a lot of
drama in
drama.
there's drama in every fandom,
A
so I
lot
actually
of
shouldn't say
drama.
that. But
Yes.
them as people are very sweet and kind
Yeah.
and
And the
caring
fans
and
are for the like most part, they're awesome.
oh
So
my
it's just
gosh, yeah.
there's like a good part, like a good crew to be a part of. So I
100%.
I was a huge Jonas Brothers fan, but they kind of like they broke up. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, we're
You
moving
said.
on. And Paramore
If
almost broke up a couple times, and we're
yeah, but
still
we made it out alive.
we're
I'll
still here.
say the After Laughter era, I don't know if
Ah,
anything's gonna compare to that.
it was the best time to be a Paramore fan because I had like a real job.
Yeah.
So I was able to afford to do things. And I wasn't like,
Yes.
Mom, please help
Yeah, you said,
me.
Mom, I'm begging you, please.
Please.
How was Parahoy?
Oh my goodness. It was so fun.
Have you
It
been
was
to
all of
one?
them.
You've been to
All of
all of them?
So they docked in Miami, and that's where I'm
Oh, so
from.
duh.
So
So
I didn't
that like takes out
yes,
so much of the expense of like having to get there and
I didn't have to fly anywhere. I just drove 20 minutes to the port. So literally 20 minutes to the
which
port.
one which one was the best?
Oh my goodness. Jeez, that's so hard.
And
I
I always do this. I talk and this is the one critique I get from people who listen to this podcast. I talk about things like everyone knows what they are. So anyway, if you
oh yeah,
don't know, Parahoy
right.
is a cruise that Paramore does, and they like bring on other bands. They do
Yeah.
like shows, a lot of live music,
They
and
do
then you,
Q&As and they're just like walking about
Mhm.
mainly.
Yeah, and then it's like a cruise on top of that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
With
so
a ton of Paramore fans. Like because it sells out. So it's like the biggest like fans that it's wild. I mean, the best one. Oh gosh. I mean, the first one was awesome, but I think the third one was pretty special because they did like an acoustic thing.
cute. Okay,
I
yeah.
think like in the theater and no phones were allowed, but it was like very intimate. It was like just it was very wholesome, is like what I
Yeah.
think about when I think about it. And it was like, I don't even remember how many songs they did, but it was just
Mhm.
really special, it felt like.
Oh.
And I think they did Pool on in their second show, and that song like popped off, honestly.
Pool is,
It
I think,
it popped off.
I don't know if I can put this on the record, but I think it is my favorite Paramore song.
Honestly, same.
It's so
It's so good. It is. I listened to it today while I was at the pool, and it was
as you should.
it was just very on
I
brand for me.
will dive back into.
I will. Yes, Haley. So
Man,
that one was good. I was front row for a lot of like the first couple of like shows, but honestly, I think I like being in the back better.
yeah,
Just dancing.
it's when you dance.
That was like the
The
third Parahoy show. I was in the back, and on at Art and Friends, I was in the back too. And I'm like, this is the way to do it now.
Art
Like,
and Friends, were you around us? Like with
yeah, I
Carly and
was
stuff?
right behind y'all.
We
Me and my best friend were right behind you guys. It was the best.
I we talk about this often during idol worship.
Oh,
We were like
I was like out of my body.
no, that's how we explain it. Like we were in a circle. I don't even think I looked at the stage once, and I was screaming. I remember seeing this guy because we were in the back by the sound booth, so it was all these like industry
You were
people.
like Tyler Joseph. I think like one of
No,
them was
Josh
there.
Dunn.
Josh Dunn. Yes.
There's a video of him, and you could see our whole group like right in front of him, and like I was like arms wide, like head up to the sky. Like I'm not even kidding. Like probably like it was probably like in Harry Potter, like something coming out of my mouth. Like
The Dementors.
I literally I was out of my body, and that show was
Same.
insane because
Yes.
there was so much of us in the back who were just like going
Most
crazy.
of us were back there. Yes.
Exactly, and like wow.
I
And just
go for it.
I was gonna say, just knowing that it was gonna be like one of the last shows, we just
That-
like
That's
left
why
it
I
all on the
went
dance
hard.
floor.
So I shot the first 3 songs of that set.
Okay, cute.
I'm a photographer.
Yes.
But then when they started playing, I don't even know where my camera went. I put it somewhere. I don't remember where
I'm dead.
I was like, I hope this doesn't get lost. But I think I put my memory card in my pocket. And I'm
You
like,
said just in case.
it's fine. I'm like, my camera's over there. I'm just like dancing and like drinking a Jack and Coke and having the time of my life.
As you should.
It was like I was so sweaty. It was the best.
That is
It was
insane.
awesome. Yeah.
Oh wow. Bring it back. I'd love to relive that day.
I want to go back. The day I go back into a Paramore show, I think I would pass away. Someone like mentioned it to me on Sunday. They were like, Roxy, like when's Paramore coming back? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm gonna pass out when they do.
Literally. And I feel like I like was on the outskirts of like the Paramore fandom and like all of that during After Laughter, basically because I was friends with Carly. So I just like had the in because I was friends with her. But now I feel like I've become friends with so many people. So I can't wait for another show. So I can just be like,
we're all just gonna cry and die.
Okay, so we've mentioned it, but you're a photographer.
Yes.
When did you start shooting? Like how old were you?
Oh gosh, I was in college, and my first job was at this really, really crappy hospice care, which is very sad. So I was a receptionist there, just answering phone calls. And if you know me, you know I hate talking on the phone to people.
Yep, I get it.
I was doing that, and my mom worked at a daycare. She was like a manager there, kind of.
Oh, cool.
And her boss was a wedding photographer. And I had him on Facebook, and he was like, I need an assistant for a photo booth for this wedding. And I texted my mom, and I was like, I want to do this because I hate my job. And it was like $15 an hour. Oh. And I was in college. I'm like, this is good money.
Yeah, so exactly.
I was making like $7 an hour or whatever it was at the hospice. Mm-hmm. I was like, I want to do this. My mom like talked to him, and he reached out to me. He's like, hey, like would love you to like come set up the photo booth. It's like really heavy. It was like honestly 100 pounds. And like I was a small girl, and I had like a little tiny car. I'm like, I can do it. I can fit that in my car. Oh, but I mean, I ended up doing it. It was like a lot of hard work. So for a long time, I was doing the hospice job in the photo booth, and I was like feeling I was banking. I'm like, oh, I'm getting so much money. But then I eventually just left the other job, and I started second shooting for him at weddings. And he was like, hey, would you like to get like work for this camera? It was like a full frame Nikon.
Cool. Okay.
So I was like, yeah, because I had like a really bad like low light like Canon, so it was like not great. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So I shot like a couple weddings, worked to buy that camera from him, bought it, started shooting weddings. I'm like, weddings ain't my thing. No, like,
exactly.
I'm not passionate about it, but I loved going to concerts. And I would always take my phone, and I would always shoot with the phone. So I like kind of started doing that whole like phone thing, try to get into like shows with my camera, but it wasn't really panning out. And actually at a Paramore show at was it Monumentor? No. It was a self-titled tour. I was barricaded, and there was a lady shooting, and she was older, but she was like just picking photos, and she took a photo of me. I was like, what's your information? So we like traded info, and she actually reached out to me after and was like, hey, I need help with my website. Would you help me do this website, and I can help you get into shows and give you like a free Paramore print? And I was like, absolutely.
Yeah. Easy.
So I literally gave her like, I made her website for her, and I had no idea what I was doing. I think it was like
so funny that she asked you like.
Yeah. So she was older. I think she was in like her late 30s or early 40s. So I don't think she knew a lot, which I didn't either, but I just Googled stuff.
Yeah.
So I made her like, it was like she was getting into newborn photography, and it was like a newborn website.
Okay, cute.
So I started doing that. She sent me a print and was like, hey, I'm shooting like New Politics and Charlie XCX at this venue. If you like, I can get you a pass if you like want to come assist me before the show.
Yeah.
If you want to come help me with lighting, and we can do that. And then you can shoot the show. I was like, oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I literally shot that show. She did like, she used to shoot drummers. So she did something with the New Politics drummer. Cool. And shot him, and I like assisted her with lighting and stuff, and then I shot the show, and I kind of like that's how I got in. Like
that's amazing,
which is really weird because it wasn't Paramore, but it was like kind of through a show I went to.
Exactly, and that's such a cool story.
Yeah, it's wild to think about. And now, I mean, I shoot a lot like churches now, as you know, but I do a lot of like Paramore, and like I'm trying to get more into like the music world, but things have been canceled.
No, 100%. Hard time to do that.
We're trying over here.
Wow, so, that is crazy.
Which is it's really, really crazy. It's really weird to think about, because it's like you don't think it's gonna happen, but then things line up, and you're like,
and then it just happens. Yeah. And then from there, did you just start shooting a lot of like local stuff?
Yeah, I shot a ton. So I shot bleachers at a festival in Florida. shot like that whole festival was like, I think it was like City and Color, Bleachers,
Cool. Yeah.
and a few other bands. I can't remember who it was. And like, just like I would try to get into shows. I shot 21 Pilots in Orlando. I mean, and it was all for free too, but I'm like, this is what I like to do, and I want to get better. So
exactly.
yeah, hoping that one day someone's gonna be like, hey, like, come on tour with us.
Hey, sister, I know it's in your future.
Oh, I receive it.
That's amazing. Was that hard to, because like music photography is like not easy. I've shot like a couple shows in my lifetime. I was like really on the photographer game for a bit, and then I just gave up on it. But they're like really hard to shoot because you get like 3 songs and you have to like adapt to lighting and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Did you just like learn on the go?
Yeah, to me, honestly, it's kind of like I'm chasing a high, if I'm being honest with you. It's kind of like I don't know what I'm going to get. And it's always just kind of like, okay, here we go. And like my adrenaline's pumping. I'm like, what's the best shot I can do right now? And like I try to study like I watch it like I watch game tape. So I try to study their first 3 songs.
Yeah.
If there's like videos on YouTube, I try to look at those before I shoot.
Sister. Yeah, to know like where you should be.
Yeah, it's like an athlete kind of like looking at game tape. So it's just kind of like I try to look at it, try to be prepared, try to know what they're doing. It's really easy because since I've shot Paramore before, I kind of know what Haley does.
Yeah.
And when she's going to high kick and when she's going to do something. So I feel like I have a little bit of an edge when it comes to that. But it's just like you're kind of being thrown into the fire, if you will.
And then you have to fight. You have to fight the other photographers in the pit.
There's so many people, and it's very intimidating, especially as a girl. And I'm like such a short girl, and I'm just kind of like, I know what I'm doing, but these guys probably don't think I know what I'm doing. So it's just kind of like I'm trying to prove myself, but also like trying not to get in people's way and trying to be a kind human.
Yeah.
So it's just always like just a lot of thoughts going through my head, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do my thing, and I'm just gonna shoot what I can, you know.
100%. Yeah.
But also like be assertive and try to like stake my ground, if you will.
100%
at times, because it's hard.
Yeah. Do you find that it's a very like male dominated career? I don't know what the word I was looking for was, but
yes, which is so funny. Because, so, I mean, I shoot at Passion all the time, and it's like most of the people on the photo team are girls. But most of the people outside of that industry are guys. And it's like, and a lot of them are so kind, and they're amazing. But I mean, it's just very male dominated. And a lot of them kind of like have this air about them that they know what they're doing. So it's just pretty intimidating walking into a space with your camera. And these guys have like their 2 cameras and their big
lenses. And
And you're just like, I know how to use those too, but I just have this like one lens that I really love, and this other one that I'm going to switch into maybe for the shoot. So it's super male dominated, but I think that there's like a whole, like, I feel like there's a whole fresh wind of like girls coming into the scene, which I've seen a lot like on Instagram.
100%.
I try to follow a lot of like girl photographers too. So maybe that's just like me and what I'm seeing, but there's a lot of great guys out there too that shoot and are awesome. But
boys aren't the worst. Boys aren't the worst.
Yeah. Boys are great. We like boys.
And I feel like that too, and I don't know if it's because I'm so involved in like the fandom world, and then like a lot of those people have turned into photographers, and most of the ones that I follow are women. But I do think it's really interesting to kind of see that switch, because I feel like a lot of big like artists I follow, most of their like go-to photographers were men.
For sure. And a lot of it's like, if it's a male band, they're most likely going to have a guy on the road, which is just, I mean,
which makes sense. Yeah.
I understand. So, but there is like the odd girl that like shoots, and I'm like, oh, you're amazing. I'll follow you. Like, how did you do it? You know, I have a really close friend here in Atlanta who shoots like for musicians, and I'm like, dude, how do you do it? Like, and so it's just kind of like interesting to talk to her and just being like, yeah, it is very male dominated. So, which like it kind of is what it is at the point, but
yeah, you know, it's okay. We're changing societal norms here.
I think we are. I think there's a whole new wave coming. I believe it.
I agree. Do you think that your perspective of being a fan plays a part in your photography?
Yes, I think so. I think especially like when it comes to like even shooting Paramore, like I love them so much that I'm like, I want to portray this in the best way that I can.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I mean, I'm also a 4 in the Enneagram.
I am too.
I'm an individualist, so I just feel like I put so much of myself into my work. So it's just kind of like, and I know their music, so it's just kind of like I feel like I know what's gonna happen. I know how to anticipate the moment, but I also know like how I want to photograph my favorite band, and I want to
Yeah,
make them look the best that they can, you know, if that makes
absolutely.
sense. So I do think like loving the music really helps me portray it better.
Hmm.
If I wasn't passionate about a band, because I've shot stuff I'm not like passionate about,
Yeah,
and I feel like that shows because I'm not as connected to that work
exactly.
as
Yeah.
opposed to like when I shoot something I love.
Hmm. That's amazing.
It's like,
What's the best show you've ever shot? Like the one you had the most fun.
what I have to say, I mean, I think I'm gonna say Paramore.
You should.
Art and Friends
You
was fun.
should.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
Like, oh gosh, I think one of the most not frustrating moments when I shot tour 2 in Miami,
Hmm.
and it was so kind of frustrating because the pit wasn't open, but I had a front row ticket. So I like
Oh,
the guy at the venue, I asked him like, "Hey, I have this seat right here. Can I shoot from there?" And he was like, "No, like sorry." And I was like,
you
"That
said,
kind
and
of
why?
literally," I'm like, "This is kind of a bummer." So I had to shoot them from really far with one lens, and I was like, "Man, like this is probably like my only shot at shooting this band, and like
Hmm.
I'm not stoked on this."
Yeah.
So I honestly like when I got to my front row seat, I like shot them with my phone, and I have like a really great photo that I love from it. So I was
Hey,
like,
there you go.
"Well, you know what? This is what it is." But then I got like a chance to like get to photograph them again, and I think
Hmm.
Art and Friends was like just a blast because it was like their last show of
Yeah.
the After
And you could
Laughter
tell they
era.
were having so much fun, you
They
know?
were popping off.
The
So
energy was like crazy in that
I
building.
I don't think I breathed the whole first three songs when I was
I
shooting.
I doubt it.
I was like, okay, she's gonna okay, hi, okay, Taylor, okay, great, Zach, okay, awesome. It was like that was like my mind,
100%.
just
And
like
good,
oh God.
as it
I
should
felt
be.
so ADD, but it was just like yeah, that was I think that was the best show I've shot. I've also shot like Need to Breathe and Switchfoot, and they're fun. I like
Oh,
shooting rock
cool.
bands because they're just very mobile and they just kind of like
Yes.
I like shooting people that move around because you're just getting a ton of like action stuff
Yeah.
and
And I
not
feel
just
like they're,
like hitting.
yeah, and they're really expressive too, which I feel like helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Switchfoot is a
amazing.
fun band to shoot. Throwback to Switchfoot, but
Yeah.
they're really fun, you know?
Yeah.
They're so
Do you think like stage, I'm also curious of like stage stage design and all of that like plays a
mm-hmm.
part too?
Oh, yeah. Production is huge.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, for I think it was tour 5 they had those mirrors or whatever,
So
and
cool.
that was really
Yes.
fun to shoot. I love shooting like against like big LED walls
Hmm.
because I can kind of like silhouette people
Yeah.
and just yeah crazy lights. I'm like just give it all to me, like just
True.
give me a
Just let me
challenge.
play with it.
Yeah, and I shoot with like a lot of prisms. If people don't know my work, I just like to put stuff like funky things in front of my lenses and just try to make it look weird. So I think that's my brand. I think Carly called me the gritty photographer.
True.
She's like, "You're
That's the
the
perfect way
grittiest
to put
worship
it.
photographer," and I'm like, honestly, I will take it.
I love it.
I
It's the
make
truth.
worship look gritty. It's great. I'm here for it.
It's the truth. Every time at work when I get like a picture that like the title is like Roxy like
Oh yeah.
743, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. It's just gritty and like probably like grainy, but I'm like,
I
that's
love
me.
it.
Yeah,
I
thank
love it.
you.
It's your
It's
style.
never perfect, but it's me.
And that's
That's
okay.
that's how I describe myself.
That's incredible. Do you have advice for like aspiring music photographers?
Oh gosh, I think that you just gotta like take every opportunity you can. And I think I started shooting like once I got connected to that photographer in Miami, I started shooting for like publications.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like just get in as many reps as you can. So I mean, during COVID, I feel like I have an advantage because even though I was shooting like worship stuff, I
Yeah.
still didn't stop shooting music.
Hmm.
So I'm like, I'm still kind of like getting my reps in
Yeah.
this, like I'm still
Mhm.
doing this. So I feel like whenever music does come back, I feel like I have an edge because I can like, oh, I didn't really
You've
stop
been in
shooting
it.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even though it looks different and it's like a whole different genre, I didn't really stop.
Hmm.
So it's just kind of like take as many opportunities as you can. If you're in a basement like venue, just do it. Like
Great.
it's gonna be hard and your photos are probably gonna be grainy. And like I've been there, like I've shot like terrible like ISO 5000 stuff. And
Yes.
I'm like, well, this sucks. It's just gonna be all black and white. Here you go.
Exactly. No, exactly. But
Your
I feel
three
like
photos in black and white.
exactly. I feel like that also will like push you to learn
Uh,
more, because I feel like it's easier to shoot a,
it's
fully produced. big production show.
I shot at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in 2020. I'm like, oh, this is so easy. It's like beautiful. I'm like, great, click, and done. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is not really a challenge, but like when you get into like a gritty, like no production stuff, that's when like you're like, do you have what it takes?
Yeah.
You know? So I just like my advice would be like get your reps in and just shoot anything you can, even if it's like a tiny venue with no lights. Because that's gonna help you grow. And
100%.
That's what I mean. I've been there, and I still sometimes am there. Like even now, I'm like, sure, I'll shoot that at that venue. Like, so I don't think I think never feel like you're above any job.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
Don't be cocky.
No,
nobody likes a cocky.
Don't be cocky. Just be fun.
Nice.
Be fun.
It's great.
That's incredible. What do you think? What's the most important thing that being a fan has taught you?
Oh man, that's a really good question.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, I know. I read it beforehand, but now it just got me again.
I love it.
The most important thing I think it's just like music is awesome, and just like don't be ashamed of liking the music. Like that's like what I'm like. I feel like I'm speaking to your heart. You just like put your
you are.
I said yes. You know, it's just like. I feel like some people think that they're too cool for school, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm just like shooting this band." I'm like, "No, this is like
that's amazing! Like you're shooting a band. That's sick.
You're a fan, and it's music is so good, and they're a great band. So be like, I'm shooting this amazing band. I don't know, be a fangirl, like you know, like it's just like don't be too cool for school. It's that's what that's taught me. It's kind of like music is awesome. I'm a fan. I'm not going to be ashamed of being a fan because like. I don't want to be above it, you know, kind of thing. I just want to like, oh yeah, I'm a fan of your music and I'm going to make you look good. Like, I don't want to talk, but I'm like, you're going to look good. We're going to be happy. I'm going to be happy. You're going to like these photos. So it's just kind of like, and it's also so collaborative. So it's like, if you're like chill and you're cool and you produce great work, they're going to want to work with you again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's taught me to not be ashamed of like being a fan.
100%.
And I think for a while it was kind of like, oh, you're like a fangirl, so don't be a fangirl. And I think for like a while, me trying to shoot Paramore, I was trying to be like this like chill person. It's like, hey, I'm Roxy, I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan, you know. Like I was kind of putting me being a fan out there. But then I like one time after a show, I tweeted Haley, I'm like, I would like to shoot this show, and she was like, great.
I'm
like,
cool. You said it was that easy.
It was literally like, I'm a fan of your music. And she's like, great, you can shoot this show. So it's just kind of like, don't be ashamed of being a fan of the music.
No.
That's why we're here, you know?
Exactly. And that's like, gosh, I feel like I step up on this soapbox at the end of every episode.
Whatever you do, I'm like, honestly, I'm there with you. I'm like next to you. Like,
I love it. I love it. But it's exactly like anyone who's working in music, whether it's like in the like business or photography or creative or doing music, like everyone is doing it because they were a fan and they are a fan, because like no one would be doing this if they weren't a fan of music. And so I'm just like so on the same page, and I don't understand. It's so interesting. Like I'm so curious where that stems from, the whole like, oh, having to like play it cool and like all of that, because I mean, I feel like Atlanta's a pretty big like music city as well, but that whole like dynamic is so big in Nashville. And when I first moved here, it was like very intimidating and overwhelming, because like I learned most of what I knew about the music industry before getting a degree in it, because I was like a fangirl, because I had to like learn the industry to find my way around things. And so it was just like it's so weird that there's such a like stigma around that.
I don't understand it, but we're what fuels like the music industry, fans, you know,
literally
we are like it. So I don't know. I don't think it's something to be shameful about. I think we should own up to it and be like, yeah, I love that music. And I used to like not even wear like merch outside of my house.
Yeah, no, me either. And now I'm like, no shame.
Yeah, I like show up to places. I'm like, yeah, this is my Paramore hoodie. What do you think? You know,
like I used to not wear Paramore stuff in Nashville because I was like, oh, what if I run into them? But now I'm like, if I run into them wearing this, they're probably gonna be like, hey, girl.
Right. I mean, I have a Paramore tattoo, and when I would go to Nashville, I would kind of like try to wear long sleeves and like not like hide it. And one time at Barista Parlor, someone was like, hey, is that a Paramore tattoo? I was like, yeah. I was kind of like trying to be like chill about it. I'm like, it is. And then they're like, I'm friends with Brian, can I take a photo of it? I'm like, sure. So I think they sent it to him. I don't know, Brian.
That's
if you're hearing
incredible.
this, let us know. But they like sent it to Brian. I'm like, I mean, I'm a fan, so
Yeah.
it's on my body. So
Yeah.
here it is.
There is
But
absolutely no shame anymore. We are
no
breaking
shame.
that down, Roxy, you and I.
Guys, 2021, no shame in being a fangirl.
No
Own it.
shame.
Own it. Don't be a creep also, but
Oh,
just
no,
be a
please,
be a
please.
fan.
Play it cool. Like, play it
Yeah.
cool when it comes to like, please don't like stalk people. Like, I've done
Right.
things I regret.
We
Like,
don't
I've
support stalking
learned.
on this podcast.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But like, don't be ashamed of loving music.
No, I mean that's why music is the best. Music is the best.
I agree.
So I just don't think you should be ashamed of it. Anyway.
No. What's your Paramore tattoo?
Oh, it's so Haley wrote it out for me. I'm showing it to you on Zoom. I don't think people can see it. I'm like, here you go.
I love it.
It says it's not faith if you use your eyes.
Wow.
No,
what
she
a
wrote
good
it,
line.
and I love it. It's my favorite. This is not even my favorite Paramore song, but it's my favorite Paramore lyric.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. She wrote it. It was like on a photo I took, and then I had a friend kind of like clean it up a little bit in Photoshop.
Nice. Yeah.
Because it was a little sloppy, but it was my first tattoo ever.
Was it really? That's so sweet.
I thought about it for 4 years, and then I did it, and now I have like I have a whole almost sleeve of tats. But
that's so sweet. Your tattoos are so cool.
Thank you,
Roxy. I just want to be as cool as you are.
No, stop it. Stop it. You're cool.
Really
I think you're really cool.
I really do.
Stop
wow,
it.
that's incredible. Do you have any other like
have
music tattoos?
Huh?
Do you have any other like music band tattoos?
So this one, I'm like showing you like if show and
I
tell.
love it.
This one is so it's like Hold On to Hope. So it's like a hand holding a heart.
That song.
Yep. I was 26 last year. COVID hit, and I was like, I lost my job. I lost everything. I was on unemployment, and I was like, hold on to hope. So it just kind of like symbolizes that era of my life.
That is so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. What a good song. Gosh, 26 by Paramore. If you need to cry, turn it on.
Please. Yeah, turn it on. Let us know what you think about it when you're done.
Let us know in the comments below.
Please.
Go to our Instagram and let us know.
Yes, please.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Who are you? Is there anyone you're listening to or stalking on on Instagram? Like anyone you're fanning over now?
Listen, Olivia Rodrigo can murder me, and I would thank her.
I am like entering my
she
like
punch me in the face.
Literally, I'm like
thank you.
re-entering my like fangirl status with her.
My gosh.
Like I'm buying merch. And this girl is like
I want
so
a sour
young.
hoodie.
I want the sour hoodie. I want the bucket hat. I want it all.
Same. And people are like, well, she copied Misery Business. I'm like, well, you know what? Paramore is an inspiration to us all.
Literally.
So
people saying that is so ridiculous. I'm like, whatever.
But I've just been playing her record since it came out. I'm a fangirl. I can't wait to spend all my money to see her live.
I know. When she goes on tour, it's going to be terrifying.
I hope she opens up for Taylor Swift.
Okay, I think she is.
I think she should.
I'm convinced she is.
I think
so Olivia and Taylor, we're just waiting.
You know, I know you're listening to this, Olivia and Taylor. So
I know you're my top fans on Collective Sound.
Please tour together because I'm down.
Also, Taylor,
hundreds of dollars.
Literally. And Taylor, please just give me 1989 re-recording. Give me 1989 Taylor's version now.
That's coming.
It's coming. I mean, we know it, but like, just everyone keeps being like, "Oh, it's this week. Oh no, it's this week. Oh no, it's this week."
Allegedly, it was like Red, and then she like, cause she tweeted like the Girl in Red record. Did you see that?
Yes.
And she said, "Drop everything now."
Yes.
People were like,
in
"Is
purple
this now? Is it red?" What?
Exactly. Then she started getting confusing. Then at the Brits, she was like using the filter from. It was like red makeup, but then the 1989 filter and the crop top. And I'm like, Taylor.
And then she just posted like the Evermore thing, and people were like, oh, yeah, it has the 89. I'm like, I don't see it, but if you do, okay, I trust you.
Exactly. I need it. I think that is arguably my favorite Taylor album. Before like Folklore and Evermore, those just like don't count to me because.
I mean, Folklore and Evermore are just like my children.
Literally. If you had to pick one, which one would it be?
Don't make me do. Oh my god. Okay.
I've gotten into a lot of arguments about this, so I'm curious to know your answer.
Okay, so here's my thoughts. I think that I like a lot of songs on Folklore, but Evermore doesn't have a lot of skips for me.
Okay, I'm the same way. I
Okay.
think Folklore is so good. I think it was like, so big. It was like the first one of it,
Yep.
like all of that. But I
August
think
is my favorite song on there.
Yep. So good.
No cap.
No cap, no skip. Like
Nope.
put it on repeat.
Mhm.
But I do think Evermore as a whole
Yes,
is
I agree.
arguably musically better.
Agreed.
And like maybe not as like universally appealing, but like for a girl like me who loves the National and all of that stuff, Evermore is like for me.
Champagne Problems, give it to me. Willow, give it to me.
Gold Rush.
Gold Rush.
My
give
gosh.
it all
Tis
to
the damn season. I think she wrote that song for me.
For me, I relate to that song right now.
Me too.
BH girl. We'll talk like offline.
I said sister when I stop recording. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk. But I honestly, this has nothing to do with that. But Cornelia Street belongs on one of those.
Okay,
records.
I agree. I think Cornelia Street. There was another one.
I think he knows. Was that I think he knows? No.
Maybe I don't remember what it was. Have you listened to the Ringer podcast?
Yeah.
Yes, they talked about it on there, which that podcast like is so freaking good. Maybe it was Cornelia Street. Maybe it was that one. There was another one where
belongs on like Folklore or Evermore. Honestly,
no, it does.
I listen to it. Honestly, sometimes I feel sad, and I'm like, I'm gonna listen to this song, or I want to feel sad. I'm like, I'm gonna go listen to Cornelia Street and think about boys.
I feel that. Think about men.
Yeah,
just make me sad.
Yes. All the time.
Oh my gosh, too relatable. Gosh, I love Taylor. Same. Okay, I have some rapid fire for you.
Ooh, let's go.
Are you ready? Okay. Number one, what's your favorite song at the moment?
Oh gosh, it's got to be Good For You.
Oh, as it should be. That song's been on repeat for me.
Or Deja Vu, both of those.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love it. Yeah. Okay. What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Paramore, Art and Friends.
Love it.
Done.
If it wasn't Paramore, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, Taylor Swift, Reputation. It was amazing in Atlanta. I paid $30 for a Jack and Coke.
Oh, so, I thought you meant for the ticket. I was like, oh my god.
No, I paid
$30 for a drink.
I paid $30 for a drink, and it was my friend's birthday. So I was like, I got your drink, and then I was like, oh,
you said $60.
Yes,
sometimes it's worth it.
I nursed that drink all night, so
I'm proud of you. I went to the Jonas Brothers on their last tour, and I got a ticket from.
So expensive. Sorry, go ahead.
The next tour. Why are the tickets so expensive?
Oh, are you going?
Did you look?
I'm going to Nashville.
I didn't buy tickets yet, but like, why are they so expensive?
I paid a lot. I don't want to talk about it.
No, it's okay. I accidentally bought Billie Eilish tickets. Like, I'm not even kidding, on accident. And paid too much for those. So we're not going to talk about it. But I went to the Jonas Brothers, their last tour, and got a ticket for free from my boss at the time because he long story, it doesn't even matter, but I got the ticket for free. So I went in and I bought the biggest beer I could find. I'm not even kidding. It was bigger than my face.
Oh my
god. And I vibed at the show, like surrounded by girls by myself, just drinking this giant beer. And I was like, this is like my peak moment.
Oh my gosh. Well, so I remember going to their show and their drinks were so expensive too. And Maggie Rogers that same year was so expensive. And now like during COVID, I was like, I would have spent money on those drinks.
Like I would do anything.
I was like, I'm never gonna complain about a show like cost ever again.
Me either.
I will do it and I will pay money or try to sneak something in. Honestly.
No. Oh yeah, I'm gonna start doing that once COVID's over. I'm like already spending a dumb amount of money on concert tickets.
Oh yeah. I spent like $200 the other day before 9 a.m. on a concert ticket.
Ew.
It was a Jonas Brothers.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah. As you should.
Me and my friends were like, should we do it or should we go for like the cheaper route? And I was like, it's only $30. So we're just gonna be in the 100 section and it'll be fine.
I love it. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Rapid fire.
Yeah.
Last one. If you could photograph one person or band or group or whatever, dead or alive, who would it be?
I would love to photograph Taylor Swift on tour, but I would love to do like her behind the scenes moments.
Oh.
So like just like the intimate moments where she's just kind of like hanging out or like trying to figure like a song out or something like that. Like that's what I want to do. Cause she had I think she feels like she had a contract with like Getty photographers for a minute on Reputation, but I'm like, I was talking to a friend. I'm like, I want to see the behind the scenes moments, like the moment where she's like putting on her shoe or like thinking
what is she up to?
Yeah. So I would just like to shoot, like, be a fly on the wall. Like, honestly, you don't even need to talk to me, Taylor.
You don't even need to look at me.
You don't even need to acknowledge my presence. I just need to be there. So I would love to just shoot like that kind of like stuff, like more intimate, like her and her family, her and just like her band, just that kind of BTS stuff. That's what I love to gather from when I shoot like behind the scenes.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like she doesn't do a lot of that, so that would be very fascinating.
Which surprises me for like, because she's such a big artist. So I feel like she should.
Yeah. Taylor, we know you're listening.
My name is Roxy Moure. So
you said email me, hit me up on Instagram.
My
do what you gotta do.
That high for you. So
my rate will be a couple drinks at your show. Just cover a couple drinks.
Just let me photograph you for a week, and if you like me, you can hire me on. I'll do it for free for a week.
This is a good pitch. This is a great pitch.
I just winked.
For the record, she just winked.
Wink.
I'm dead. Oh my God.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I think that'd be awesome to shoot.
Wow, what a good answer. Roxy,
I thought about it a lot.
I bet.
A lot.
As you should. As you should. That's like all my questions I have for you. Thank you for coming on my podcast.
This was really fun.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to be best friends forever.
Collective sound.
Hey Justin, my name is Roxy. This is my friend Isabel. She is amazing. And I think you should have her on your podcast because she just has like the coolest vibe. She just took a sip of her wine while I'm talking. So that just says she's cool. So please have her.
And that's it.
Please come on her podcast.
Yes, Justin.
And if you have a podcast, have her on your podcast. I don't know if he has a podcast.
He does have a podcast.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It could be a collaboration.
Justin, you heard it here first. King.
Justin.
King.
Do it for the culture.
Do it for the people.
For the people. For the collective sound culture.
Literally, for the collecties. We're begging.
Is that what we're called?
Yes, that is what you're called.